Welcome back to another episode of Misplaced Garage. Gonna be finally finishing up the motor mounts that I haven't started, so that will be a big step. I hope I can at least get one side done in this video. Reinforce the frame with a little bit of 1/8" steel. By the looks of this should work out to be the perfect size for this. Before I take the engine out of the car, I'm actually going to cut 2 pieces of pipe for this so that I can be pretty ready when I get in there to know how I want to exactly line this whole thing up. So I'm going to try to cut two pieces of pipe pretty square. We'll see how that goes. Not sure if it's going to go good or bad. So yeah, this is the start of the engine mount. This obviously slides inside of there, and then I throw one of these up here, weld that to the frame, and then I will be able to place this somewhere in here. I think this will be attached to the frame. So here is the first side plate. I grinded it down as well. It's not exactly perfectly square, but it is close enough for me to be happy with it. Let's let this engine out of there another time. I'm getting tired of doing it. I know this definitely isn't my last time having to do this, but I brought it upon myself. Got the engine pulled out of there. Let's get these frame reinforcement plates all welded in. Alright, well I got both plates welded on there. Not oddly enough, but the second plate I was able to make look a lot nicer. Either way, nothing a little grinder can't make look pretty. But yeah, those should help a lot in the reinforcement, because the thing I was scared about is there's this lip, and that's basically where most of the weight is going to be sitting, is over that lip. So I wanted to make sure there was enough structural integrity going into that than there already was. So I've got the engine back in. Now my next problem is, since the engine sits kind of like this in the frame, it's not too harsh of an angle, but there is an angle. Actually, I can lower it just a tiny bit, but the problem that I'm having now is these OEM mounts are at that slight angle. So I think I'm going to wallow out these holes a little bit and make it a little bit larger so that I can turn this thing down just enough to where it'll equal about level with this. So I wallowed out the holes just one size larger, and it's definitely a lot closer to being square. I think I'm gonna go one more size on there just to make it almost perfect. I know it might be a couple degrees off here or there. Alright, well I got 3 pieces of steel here. Let's see if I can weld those together, and hopefully they'll be strong enough. Been a minute since I last took a video, but this is how my bracket has started to turn out. I got them welded together. I also cut 2 little notches on the end of this so that this is just going to be example. So that has a bolt hole on there, and then I can drill a hole into this in the center, and that basically can go like that perfectly. So I got that hole drilled, it's just about perfect. That fits in there really nicely. I mean, there's a little bit of wiggle room, but it's not bad. And now this thing is able to mount onto there. So what I think I'll be able to do is just set this on there, and then I will tack it into place, and then later on I will add a piece of flat bar that goes from down here up here to hold it on a little bit better. I got the bushing tacked on there as best I could. It's actually extremely hard to weld inside of there. I also didn't want to overheat this polyurethane and destroy it, so I only did it in 3 spots. So now let's see if I can disassemble it. So I can't seem to get that side of the bushing out, and I don't want to break the weld that's on the bottom, so I'm going to add some of this 1 by 1/8 inch bar onto the side so that it has a side support, so that I can hit on that a little bit harder without worrying about breaking the whole tube off. Now that's a little bit stronger. I added 4 tack welds to that. Now hopefully I'll be able to get this side of the bushing out. So that is fully welded. Now I'm going to, once I pull the engine out again, I'm gonna try to weld from the back side just a tiny bit, and hopefully that'll add a little bit more strength. Next up on the list is adding a top plate to this so that it can handle more upward pressure on this, and I also may add a small bottom plate to it. So I am almost complete on this side of the engine mount. The last thing to do is to drill a hole that interlocks these two together, but I'm kind of at a loss of how to do that currently. I need to figure out how to mark these in which it will be correct. So I'm gonna think about that for a little while. Alright guys, well that was a heck of a lot of work to get those drilled out. And just like that, that is one side of the engine mount. And what you do to one side, you gotta do to the other side. So just like that, this other side is done. This one did take me a while, but nowhere near as long as the other side. And the engine is completely off of the engine hoist, so it is on there pretty dang good. The only thing that I have left to do is once I pull the engine out, I'm going to reinforce the back side of the pipe just to give it that extra edge, because I'm not 100% confident that these little plates in there can hold that forever and ever, so I'm just gonna give it a little more support. And down here in the harmonic balancer, you can tell how close I have that. Not sure if you're able to see, but this is nearly as good as I can get it. Hopefully it doesn't go down any farther. It's an awesome feeling being able to say that I built these engine mounts. I think I am pretty happy with the way they turned out. I think that's pretty much the best way that I could have designed them. I can't really think of a better way. Anyways guys, if you liked the video and you're interested in seeing more of this, because I have a lot more work left to do on this car, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.